Okay, hello students. Here I'm walking through uh, lesson 3 practice problem and also lesson 4. Let's see how far I will go. Kindly pause for a while and make sure you write this in your on your paper, separate paper. Work this out and then you turn it to me at the end of the hour. Okay, now look at this question. Do you have to write all the, don't write the question, but at least you can write the main part that is, let's see this one. See, what does this mean is what multiplies itself 3 times to get 729. Okay, that's what that means. So in other words, we put the variable as m. So there are three of them. So it is m raised to the power 3 and 729. And by definition of radical, changing this to radical form, you put m is cube root of 729. So basically what does this mean is asking a question, what number multiply itself 3 times to give you 729? There's another way to write is this expression is also written as 729 raised to 1 divided by 3. So these two things we have already seen this earlier classes that's what. So this is one of the answer. This is also is the answer. And uh, yeah, so E and F. So this cannot be the answer because there is a 2. This is square root, right? But we want cube root. This is also wrong. This also is wrong. There's a square root. So the only options are this. I hope that so the goal is whether you can understand that these two things mean one and the same. So let's see. It's like let me go to the next question straight away. Okay, the second question is about a pond and the area covered by algae, and it doubles every week. Because in a week we have 7 days. So I'll make a table to understand this. Mhm. So in the beginning it says the area that was covered was this is like 0. So in the beginning it is 12.5, and then we have, I'll just put here 1 week, means 1 week. Now this is 1 week, right? And then again we have uh, so this is like, okay, 0, then 1, and I say, okay, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, right? So what's happening is, question is asked, find the area of a square meter covered by in 10 days, is the question. So that means this is 1 week here. Suppose the question was asked, what is the population, what is the algae area in 1 week, 2 weeks? Then we can use the formula that area depends on week. The W is same as doubles means the rate from here to here, it multiply by 2. So doubles means multiply by 2, the B. So the formula is in the beginning what is have A time multiply the growth rate, that is B factor growth rate times the V. See? So you know it is 12.5 and times it is 2 raised to a week. Now this is not in days. So if the question is asked in days, this will become the formula to figure out every week, like every time you multiply by 2. But because they're asking you 10 days, so what we do is this changes in days. So area, the same thing. So W. So this formula is for weeks, right? And we can change this to also, let's see, in a week so the question is asked, if you see this part, after 10 days, so we want in days, right? So instead of days, we'll try to break this into 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. See? And then we want to see what is the factor here that multiplies continuously in order to get a week. So so from here to zero to 1 week is like the factor is 2, but every day is how much? So that means we will have to multiply 2 raised to 1 divided by 7 times 2 raised to 1 divided by 7 times 2 raised to 1 divided by 7. So like this, there will be 7 times 1, 2 raised to 1, 7 factor. So every day will be 1 because that's the only way you can 7 of this. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another one. So 2 raised to 1, 7, if you multiply 7 times, you end up getting this factor, the 2. So from here to here is 2, right? So if you multiply this so many times, that means if you try to calculate daily, then that becomes a new formula. That is, so we can write area into D equals what was in the beginning, and now the factor is 2 raised to 1 over 7, and then raised to days. See, come like this D. So this is in days, which we can write it as 12.5 into 2 raised to D over 7. There you go, you get a new formula. So if it is weekly, this is the formula. If it is daily, that's the formula. And you can clearly see when days is equal to 10 days, because that's what he's asking here. So area 10, you have to just do 12.5 multiply by 2 raised to 10 over 7, and you're done. So that's how you do this. No, at using days, that's how you do that. The second question they're asking us, let's see, explain why we can find the area uh, covered by algae 1 day after it was spotted, multiplying this by so what does that mean? See, so he's asking what does this means. So seventh square root of 2 basically means it is 2 raised to 1 over 7. And that's what I was trying to show you, that this is the factor you're multiplying 7 times for 1 week. So if you see this, it's the same thing. So just wanted to make sure that. So 2 raised to 1 and you're done. So this is like, there will be always percentage changes when, so when you went from straight away from 0 to 1 week, it was doubles. So what is the meaning of doubles? Means it is a 2, right? 2 is 1 plus 1. So it is like 100%. So this means it doubles means this is 100% plus 100%. So whatever is the original is your 1 plus 100% like this. So that is 100% increase. But if you want to know what is every day, how much percent increase, what is the percentage of increase, then you'll have to figure out what is this answer 2 raised to 1 upon 7. And that will have, you'll have to check using the calculator, which we very soon we are going to do such problems separately. Okay, this is the third question is about asking a patient in the hospital is given medicine in milligrams and how much is the medicine remaining after 8 hours. So I wanted to read this question and they're asking what does this mean, right? So the input is 0.5. See this? So when you write m is 0.5, so 0.5 is the input, which is hours pass since the medicine is being given, administered. So what I'm trying to say is that first question, what does this mean is how amount of medicine in milligram stay remaining in the patient's body half an hour after. So what is 0.5 means half an hour. Second question asking, if you see the graph, can you figure out where is the answer? So you just go like this. This is 0.5. This part is 0.5. And here you can go and see almost like, you can check, this is almost like 260. You can write 258. You can write 260. It doesn't matter. So that's what that means. And the C question was asked, there is a from if the medicine was given at 12 noon and then this is 4 and that is 5. So at the time when the hour hand is here, which is 4.5, right? So how much is the medicine remaining? So what you do, m of 4.5. That's all you do. So here you plug it in, will be 300 multiply 3/4 of and then multiply by 4 point. Use the calculator, the yellow calculator, and figure this out. How many milligrams to the nearest whole number? You're done. That's all this question is about. At the same time, I want to ask, just look at the 3/4 there. Can you see that 3/4? What does that 3/4 means? So the B is 3/4 basically means is growth, is the factor. So growth factor or a decay factor. Here I call it a decay factor because it's less than 1. So 3/4 is also 0.75, right? Which is 75 divided by 100, and that is 75% of the medicine stays in the blood. But we can also write it as 1 minus 0.25. That means it is 1 minus 25%. That means 25% loses and 75% stays. So this is one uh, uh, important concept to be understood. Let me go to the next question. For this question, you see the area the area covered by lake is 11 kilometers square kilometer. It is decreasing exponentially. Uh, this problem is the area covered is given to you. So in the beginning it was, let's say this is the area, and in the beginning maybe there is 11 square. This is what is covered, right? So that's why in the beginning the formula is always, if you want to know, here it is A depending on uh, years. T is years here. So in the beginning there was 11. So the formula is A times B raised to X. So X here is used as T, which is number of years. Number of years, right? So so that means the question, what factor does the area decrease? So the factor is, you can clearly see this is showing here like this, because what is the meaning of decreasing exponentially the rate of 2% each year? That means if I try to draw like this, just to get an idea, let's see this part. Okay, so let's say this is 1 year, right? This is 1 year. From year zero, so in the year zero, it was 11 kilometers. And from here, in 1 year, it goes by 2%, right? So 2% means so decreases means how much stays. If 2% goes, so from 100%, if you take away 2%, it is like 98%. And 98% basically means 0.98. So that's the decay factor. So from year to year, it is like 0.98 is the factor if it is every year. But the second one is asking decreases each month. Now, if it is each month, I'll have to break this into 12 parts. This part. So I'll have to make 1 month, 2 months, because every every year has got 12, right? So the question is asking what is the factor from here to here is how much? See this part? So what is this? So from here to here, you know it is 0.9. So what is the factors from here? So what we have to do is, because there are 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So and this was 0.98 factor. So every month that will be, let me write this one. This is the most confusing part. Every month will be 0.98 raised to 1 over 12, because from here to here 1 year it is 0.98, but if it is every month, because it has 12, you have to divide by 12. So this is the most important part. That means if you want to know monthly area, I can write another model, another equation, and say A of m. In the beginning, it was like this, and raised to the power m. See, so we can change the whole thing and write it like this. So it is 0.98 raised to, sorry, 1 m divided by 12. So this is the new equation gets formed. And you can also find this, use a calculator and figure out how much is the percentage also. This problem we did not ask, but remember, from 0 to 1 is like whatever that factor, like 0.98. But if you want to do every, like there are, you break it into 12 parts, so you have to divide by 12. That's the goal here. Hope that helps. Let's go to the next one. Here there is an exponential sequence here, so I'll have to draw. They gave you third and the fourth, so it will be like 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the 0, 1, 2, 3. For the first one, the fourth is given, sorry, the third is given 100 and the fourth is given 500. So how did you get 500? You multiply 5, see? So the next one, on the fifth number will be, you have to do another 500, 2,500. But if you want to go backward second, you have to divide by 5. So 100 divided by 5 will be 20. Then go backward, divide by 5. you get 5. So 4, sorry, so this will be 4. And that's how they're asking you this uh, first and the second number. So done. Let's go to the next. Now, read this question. Let's say Tucson population, there was like 250,000. Now, this says about 250,000 in the year 1950. Oh, just any city. So this, what does the, if they say that this is in thousands, so if the number is 250, it basically means 250,000. That's what that means. So that's the first B is the correct because in the beginning it was 250,000. Then you also have to know that the population grows by 1% each year. So do you agree with this? So if you see the whole thing here, what is that B here? Your A is 250, that's what it was in the beginning. B is 1.01. What does that mean? 1 plus 0.01. That means this is the 100%. In the beginning, whatever that you have is the whole. This is the whole. And the raise is this one. That means it is you multiply. This means same as writing 1 over 100, right? Which is 1%. So this part is 1%, and this becomes correct. So each year it grows by 1%. That's what that means. And you can also use what is this in the year 1951. That means from 1950 till here is 1 year. So in the formula here, you're going to put 250 times 1.01 raised to 1, and you use the calculator and get the answer. So you will be getting the answer as 275. But remember, this should be in thousand. The calculator may be like this, but you're supposed to write this 200 because it should be in thousand. See that? That's and this population grows exponentially. Oh, sorry. So this answer will be given now. To check that whether really you get 275, you will see. I want you to confirm which are the right one. Do you really get to? Do you get really 275? That's my question. You can check. I don't want to tell the answer. You have to figure out. And the last one is exponentially grows. Let's say it grows because of this. Anything more than one, it grows. Okay, this is lesson number 4. Here it is. So I can clearly see. And the first question is bacteria population is tripling. So every hour it is tripling. So whatever the population in zero may be, we don't know in the beginning. And then every hour, 1, 2 hours, 3 hours. So it triples, right? So you just multiply by 3. So this is like hours, H, and could be what is the population, P, and it is P of H, right? So P of H given in the beginning, they didn't give us nothing here. What about the in the beginning population? I can just put maybe in the beginning there was about maybe 500 bacteria. So I just put 500. This is maybe 500. And then you triple, right? So triple means it is 3 raised to H. H, that's the answer, right? Now, if they ask you in minutes, let's see, I can make another problem like if you want to write in minutes like this. If I want to know in minutes, every hour has got, what is that called? 60, right? 60 minutes. So I can write the same formula as minutes, whatever that minute, divide by 60 because 1 hour, 1 each, because uh, 1 hour is 60 minutes. That's why. Hmm? So we can write instead of h, we can write in terms of minutes also because this takes care. Suppose you write 60 minutes. What is the minute 60? You put 60 right here. 60 divided by 60 is 1. That is 1 hour. So this makes sense. See, that's what they're asking you. But here it's asked half an hour. Half an hour basically, what is half an hour? And the easy, they gave you the easy one. Half an hour with 30 minutes, right? So it's like half hour is 30 minutes. It means you are putting 500 multiplied by 3 raised to 30 divided by 60, right? So that means this is nothing but 3 raised to half. So it is 500 times 3 raised to half. Of course, it's a common sense because 30 minutes, half an hour, they say, right? What if they have to ask like 20 minutes? Then you'll have to do this 20 divided by 60. If it is like ask 15 minutes, then you say, okay, 15 minutes. So but you have to divide by 60 because every hour has got. So this is how So there are two answers here. Even remember, the trick is if I write square root of b, formula is always, remember, it is raised to 1 over 2 because there's a 2 here, right? So the formula is nth root of b is also same as b raised to 1 over n. Hope you remember that. Let's go to the next. Okay, this is question number 2. This is 2. And medication, again, same, has a half-life of 4 hours. So we have to understand what is the meaning of this. Half-life of 4 hours means after 4 hours, whatever the medicine was given, it becomes half. That's what that means. After it enters the bloodstream, right? A nurse administers a dose of 220. So in the beginning, this is being given to a patient at 12 noon, okay, p.m. So if it is here, that's 12 p.m. That's what that means. Noon means p.m. Okay. Now, question is, write an expression to represent the amount of medication in milligrams in the patient body at 1. 1 means like exactly 1 hour, right? So it means, let's see, the formula is uh, how much is the medicine remaining. I'll put R is the medicine remaining, hours. Let's see, H is the hours, and the formula is A times B raised to X, right? Because, let's say, because in the beginning, let's put 0 is 225, but after 1, 2, 3, and fourth hour, after 4 hours from noon, it means 4 p.m., the medicine becomes one half of this will be 112.56. So from here to here, you're multiplying half. So half means 0.5. So instead of uh, uh, so when you say what factor is multiplied, half life means from here to here it is that's the decay factor. So the b in the formula becomes this becomes it was 225 and then multiply by the factor is half, so it is half and raised to the number of hours. Right? So here uh, it is every 4 hours is half, right? So if I write here, it means it is not 1 hour. It is like 4 hours. So we'll have to change this into every hour. What happens? Like so from here to here. So from here to here. So this is going from here to here is half, but I have to have find out for every hour what is the b. So so the b in the original was half, but now because the question is okay. First is this one 1 p.m. So this answer this is at 1. So it is if I talk about hours, this is like 1, right? So 1 hour. So you can use the calculator here and say this answer will be what was there in the beginning 225 multiply half raised to 1. Or in other words, also 1 basically means 4 over 4. See? So at 1 p.m. means I made a slight mistake here. I'm sorry. This is wrong because from let me repeat it one more time. So from this is half. So but then if I want to write here every hour, so what changes is so this if I write this is h as hours because there is h and this is h that is hour. But if I want to write uh, uh, this H is a group of 4 hours. This H, let's put it like a capital H. This capital H, I'll put this as capital H. I think I'm confusing you guys. So this H that I'm talking about is a group of 4 hours. So it is like a group of 4 hours because it becomes half, right? That means we want to know every one. Then what happens is this becomes the formula. This formula changes to R, and I'll put hour. H lowercase stands for number of hours since the medication was given. So now the formula changes. It was 225 times half raised to the, so it was number hours H. Now, because the group has 4 hours, 1, 2, 3, and 4 hours, so every 4 hours become half. So this raised to divide by 4 like this. So that's the main part. So if I'm trying to say, if I want to write only H is 1 hour, that's the first question. So if it is H is on 1 hour, that means the amount of medicine remaining is 225 times half raised to 1/4, which is 225 multiplied by half raised to, you can use the calculator or 0.25 like this. And you use the calculator and you can get the answer. But the main expression is, can we write this by writing 1 divided by 4? This is, H stands for number of hours. But if I write this H uppercase, that's like every 4 hours. That's different. So in a group of 4 hours, we use uppercase H, but every hour is lowercase and you have to divide it by. But then there's another question at 7 p.m. So if it is 7 p.m., that means from noon to, if you see the time, if you have noon, this is noon, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is here, right? So when the hour has, so you just plug in 7. So this will be, so instead of, so this, in this formula, you're going to plug in, so please write down that. So R of 7 becomes equals to 25 multiplied by half raised to 7 over 4, and you're done. See? So the main thing is this. Now, the tricky part is the next question. Let me wipe this off now, this part. Okay. So the tricky part is, what does that expression means? Let's see. So you are given B part, and the B says, what is this expression? See? So it means R of, now this expression has to be first adjusted. So it is 225 times, it is half raised to, and I'm going to multiply numerator denominator by 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. So this becomes 5 times 2 is 10, and 2 times 2 is 4. So this is what you get. Eventually, you are trying to divide, get a 4 in the denominator. This is the beginning. And this means 10 hours since noon time. So if it is 10 hours since noon time, that means if this is 12, this is 3, this is 6, this is 9, and there's one more hour, so 10 p.m. So what does this expression mean? It means 10 p.m. is the amount of medicine remaining in the blood after 10 hours, or exactly at 10 p.m. That's the time, it is 10 p.m. So the cool thing is this part. You have to make it like 10 over 4. Instead of 5 over 2, it is 10 over 4. So hope that helps. Let's go next. Okay, look at this question number 3. The number of employees in a company has been growing exponentially by 10%, which means 0.1, right? So that means the B will be the growth factor, will be 1 plus the rate. So this is the percent increase, and that becomes 1 plus 0.1. So the B becomes 1.1. So this is the growth rate. So let's write it. It's a rate or the factor. The growth factor. So this is not growth rate, it is growth factor. But this is the percentage increase. Now the question is asked, by what factor does the number of employees change? Because in a year, let's see the year, suppose it starts with some, there are some employees here. So if I write, this is, let's say, this is 0 year, and there is a 1 year here. So from here to here, it is 0, sorry, 1 point, the growth factor is 1.1. So you have to multiply 1.1, whatever the employees, let's say if their employees were 23, so it's like you're multiplying 23 to 1.1 and you get 1 year. But so if it is a year, the formula becomes the number of employees. E stands for employees. I can write E of T and then I change it to in the beginning 23 and times 1.1, because that's the factor, right? 1.1 raised to, let's put this T. I'll put it T, capital T. You can put T or small t. I'll put a capital T. T stands for number of years. But now, if they're asking you every month, then this thing will change. I want to know now in a uh, so you see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are, so we want to know every month is how much, right? So monthly. So E of M. See, I'm talking about month. If it is monthly, the in the beginning the employees were 123. The factor is 1.1, but this time you're putting the number of employees, because in a year there are 12 months. So you do this formula changes to months divided by 12. See? So if this is 12, then 12 divided by 12 is 1 year, right? So it's like you get back the same thing. So so what is the factor they ask you monthly? So if it is monthly, 1 month, so this part is 1 month. This is going to be the factor. Which one? This is when you put m equals 1, the factor becomes, it is 1.1 raised to 1 over 12. See? So when m is 1, so every month this is going to be a factor, which could be written also as 12 square root of 1.1, two different ways. So every time you multiply this is what. Suppose they ask you every 3 months. Now you have to see, in a year, how many 3 months are there? So you can have big groups of three. Say 1, 2, 3. I think I made some with 3 months. Somewhere I made a mistake. But the groups of this. So this would be, these are 3 months, these are 3 months, these are 3 months, and these are 3 months, right? So so it becomes one. So all this month, uh, there are there are four groups, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So that's why you'll have to do, instead of dividing by 12, this thing, instead of dividing by 12, it will be 1.1 raised to 3, 1 year. There are four groups of 3 months, so you do 1/4 like this. So you get 1/4, which is also 1.1 raised to 3 divided by 12. See, like that. So you can multiply 3 up and down, and you get that part. And the next one is asking you every 20 months. So what do? You plug m equals 20 in this problem. See, so if it is 20 months, so you just put 23 times 1.1 raised to 20 divided by 12. And that can be reduced as, so this is going to be the factor. And we can write it also as 20. You can see 20 over 12 is 5, 4 goes 5 times, and 4 goes 3 times. So it is 5 over 3. And you're done. So this is how you have to do, depending on the situation. Hope. So let's go to the next one. Okay, here is a problem about value decades in now. It says decades in. So this is problem number 4. Okay. Uh, Now by the graph, let me go. Uh, okay, let me go directly. So this is about how many decades pass. How many decades passes? This is 1 decade, right? A decade has got 10 years, right? 1 decade, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. So 10 years stands for, so 10 years is called 1 decade, so decade. Okay. So in after every 10 year, so this was the original the cost. But now it has gone down after 10 years. That means 1 decade it went down. It means this is the thing like this. So in the beginning, and then this is the 10. This is 1 decade. So that's like 24,000. And it was 40,000. So what is the decay factor from here to here? So we'll have to do 24,000 divided by 40,000. So you can see 40, these three zeros will go, and we can reduce this by dividing by 4. 4 6 are 24, and 4 times 10, and you can write it as 0.6. So that's the 0.6, which is actually 60%, because you can write that way, and 60% stays, and the 40% vanishes, kind of thing. So from here to here, but we want to know, express the value of the car as a function of dd, the since purchase. So we can write the value. Values can put vt, v of d, sorry, decades. D stands for decade. In the beginning, it was 40,000. So we can write like this, and it is 0.6 is the b, the decay factor. So b raised to, and you put d, and you're done. And now the next question, I did expression 4 years. Now 4 years means what fraction of a decade, like? So it becomes, so I put v of, or you can say this is in decades, right? So decades, if we want to change, that is, it is like 4 years basically means 4 divided by 10 decades, see, or years since in the beginning. So that means this formula, I wanted to show that how this is same as writing value. So let me write V, not D, but let's use T. T stands for how many years passed. So this equals, in the beginning this is 40,000 time. Now from here to here it was 0.6. You multiply 0.6, right? But every year, what will be the, so if it is like 1, 2, and like that, till 10 years is like decade. So every year you have to do is, you use the same 0.6, but you will write 1 over 10. So the new factor will be is 0.6 raised to t. You have to divide by every decade. There are 10 months, 10 years. Sorry, so you divide. So this is the formula when you are writing in terms of years. This is the formula if you are writing in decades. So in other words, t over 10 is the d, and t is also 10 times d. It means 1 decade will be 10 years, 2 decades will be 20 years, 3 decades will be 30 years, like that. So this is what is important. So for, if you want to find growth factor for every year, uh, so here decay factor, sorry. So the B here is for every year be 0.6. You can use the calculator and put 1 over 10. That becomes 1 year. So that way, if you try to work this out, you will get the answer is 0.95. That means every year, what does this mean? In there, 95% stays every year. That's what it means. That means 5% loses. So this is the understanding of the concept of this problem. So again, I repeat. So the groups of 10, this is a group of 10 here. So here to here is, first you find this, then, but we want every year. So you have to divide by 10. That's how you do. And you can see this part. This is the formula. But if you only want to find the decay factor, then this is. So what percent is stays? So 95% stays and 5% vanishes, because 100 take away 95 is 5%. Okay, this is how it is. If you see question number 5, see, a value of the stock increases by 8%. Now, when you say 8% increase means 0.08, right? So the B, the growth rate is 1 plus the R. This is the R, which is here. You just add it and you get the growth rate at 1 plus 0.08, which is 1.08. Okay. Now this is the mean. Now every year, so explain why the stock value does not increase 80%. Looks like if it is 8%, by common sense, we say 8% means you multiply by 10, it becomes 80. So is it really true? We can check. So why don't we make a table like this? So in the beginning 0, and this is 10 years. 10 years means it is 1 decade, right? So in 10 years, so whatever the value of the stock, maybe the values of this stock, I'll just put some number, 150 maybe. So from here, to here, it becomes 150. What was that? Multiply by 1.08 raised to 10, correct? So the rate here is the value of this answer. So we wanted to know what is that. So every year, 1 year from here to here, you multiply 1.08, right? 1.08, you get that whatever the answer. So you go on multiplying 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you multiply 1.08, 1.08, 1.08, 10 times, so you get that answer. And this will be the factor. So again, I repeat. So every year it was increasing by 8%. So from year to year, the factor is 1.08, but then you're multiplying it 10 times. So the new factor from 1 decade, let's see, for a decade from year to year, for every decade. So is it really 80%? Let's check. So when you do this, this factor, which is 1.08 raised to the power 10, if we calculate this, you get approximately on the calculator 2.16, which is 1 plus 1.16. It means this is the original, whatever the 150 type, and the other one is, this part is going to be 116 divided by 100, which is 116%. So it's not 80%. So it's not, that's not the one, but it goes 116%. So hope that takes care of the. So explain why it does not grow explain why the stock value does not increase by 80% each decade, and you can clearly see it grows by 1. Each decade is 116. So yearly you're multiplying 1.0, that's the factor. But if you want to think directly, a jump of 10 years, then the factor is this one, and that's what is. You could also use another formula in decades. So if I want to write value in decades, D, you could write whatever the original, I think I took 7, what did I take? 150, okay. So this is 150 times, now I have new formula. So this is the growth, 2.16 raised to D. So this is how you're going to do if it is asked decades. So decades is a group of 10 years. So every 10 years. That's what this means. But now we are using every year. So it is the value of T every year is, original was 150 and now it is 1.08. So 1.08 raised to T. That's how it is. Hope that